in a section that's 3 pages long. Council is cognizant of the potential economic and social benefits of preserving the built heritage of the town of Wolfville and is committed to its protection. Then follows the discussion, very specific discussion of architectural guidelines. I think council was specific when they wrote that. I think the community understands that in that way. This doesn't fit. There are other issues in terms of mass, but I think that has to be part of the negotiation. I think we have to be very careful not to take things out of context. The email that we got from a resident that noted that there were some 600 or 700 women in Wolfville over 60 said this would be a wonderful place for them to live, but they will not live in a place that is small enough that maybe a student would live in. And so that goes to the first issue, dropping from 71 to 66, in my view, does not create the diversity that was our intention. And maybe we should have, and we should in this process say, we want to look seriously at the mix and a percentage of these units that might attract students and a percentage that will attract people that actually want to live and maybe have a fridge and a stove and not a microwave. If we are building a building for student residences, then we should have known that from the outset, and we have to decide, is this the best place to build a student residence? Or is this the best, or should it be somewhere else? If it's not a student residence and it truly is mixed use, which I desperately hope it will be, then we have to do a better job at looking at the mix of units, and dropping 5 doesn't seem to do it, and didn't for the woman who wrote, which was the rest of her,
Councilor Simpson. I agree. That if we have these people that are older people wanting to live in this place, and I was disappointed to remember the mix. You know, I would have thought there would be more units available for, we draw an older population, we have it here. It's an instant clientele for this place. I know it's very important. I see the student population is very important as well. And that could work really well, mixing different generations, and but there's simply not enough of those units available for the fridge and stove crowd. You know, those people who come in want to have, I'm a little concerned about that, the mix, more than anything else. We can, to me, the architectural thing, up to a point that it can be modified enough that meets our street line, but the mix inside is more important to me, how that goes and how many people we can attract. All of us have walked the streets of Wolfville. We know there are a lot of people who would benefit from leaving their houses and going into this kind of a place and living in a bigger unit that makes sense to them and bringing their fridge and stove with them. You know, so I'd like some discussion by council now. What do we need? What is the mix? And hear it from you, so that you know you can have this balance of young professional students. And I'm not weighting it hugely towards older people. I'm saying that right now it doesn't quite cut it.
Councilor Sparkler.
Director Morrison, what are the kitchen facilities for these units? I thought they did have a stove and at least a mini fridge, if not a full-size fridge.
Yes, they have a stove, microwave, and fridge. So some of them would be a full size, some of them just the under-counter type.
Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. That has been something that's been out there. So everybody's clear on that?
There's definitely a full stove, or are there microwaves?
No, it's not a full stove. There's a microwave and a hot plate, or 2-burner.
I'm seeing the developer behind you shaking his head. And I know it's awkward to go
But if you know something to be different, obviously you don't, Director Morrison. I guess I'm sensing that there may be more than the hot plate and the
Well,
microwave.
I know there would be at least that, but I'm not sure if there would be larger stoves. I haven't had that discussion with Ralph, or if I have, I've forgotten the details thereof. But at least there is a microwave and a 2-burner hot plate at least.
Okay. Feeling awkward? Seeing that